Guys, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, especially if you love college football as much as I do. This is going to be my final prediction for Florida State versus LSU on Labor Day weekend. I do think LSU is going to be way better than what they were last year, defensively especially. I think Florida State is going to be way better than what they were last year. Here's my issue when I look at LSU, despite all the talent they have. This is only Brian Kelly's second year as head coach at LSU. When I look at Florida State, this is Mike Norvell's fourth year as head coach. That means culture-wise and as far as where he wants his program, he's going to be way further along than Brian Kelly will be. Now, I know he had the talent, but the year before he got there, they were a losing team. They weren't winning like they should have been winning. So the talent mattered, but at the same time, it didn't prove to help them too much because of the coaching before Brian Kelly got there. So, I have to go with Florida State. I mean, last year LSU was far more talented than Florida State, and Florida State still found a way to win the game because of the line of scrimmage, you know. And I know LSU's got their whole offensive line coming back, but the problem is they didn't make any changes along the offensive line. I think maybe, one or two guys. It's the same coaching staff. The offensive line, and y'all keep saying they got better throughout the year. As a unit, anytime they played a good defensive front, no, they didn't get better. I mean, Florida State's pass rush really wasn't coming along very much until they played Miami later in the year. They did pretty well against Florida. They slowed down Anthony Richardson in the Florida State game, and they did pretty good pass rush-wise against Oklahoma. Run defense wasn't great, but their pass defense and getting in Dylan Gabriel's face was really effective. I talk about Dylan Gabriel a little bit because he's a lot like Jaden Daniels as a football player, as a quarterback, mobile, with a pretty good arm, very accurate if he has time to throw. I don't think Jaden Daniels is going to have enough time to throw in his game like he wants to get enough big plays through the air. He's going to get sacked a lot. He's going to be running around a lot, confused, lost. He's going to have to pick up yardage with his legs to get first downs again. And I don't think he's going to be able to do that. I think Florida State's bringing back, since they're bringing back 4 of their 5 or 3 of their 4, whoever, they're bringing back most of their defensive line, including some guys in the transfer portal. And Norvell's recruiting lately has really been getting better, especially along the defensive line. So he's going to have young guys. So I expect him to rotate bodies a lot more often than what he did in last year's game. My point is, I don't think LSU's offensive line has improved enough to block a really good defensive front. And because Florida State's defensive line was coming along a lot more last year, they were really young, and the more experience they all got, the better they got. They have now had a whole offseason to improve. They had the bowl practice to help them. Jared Verse comes back. Let's not forget about that. I just don't think LSU is going to be able to block Florida State for 4 quarters. And I really think Florida State offensively will be able to do more than enough to win this game. I don't think LSU defensive line alone will be enough to win the game. That's just my opinion. And I think Florida State's run defense will be improved enough to hold LSU to keeping them from running the ball like they want to run. Because the teams that had success against Florida State were able to run the ball. I think that run defense has improved for Florida State a lot. Florida State's in the top 10 for a reason. I know LSU's in the top 5, but they're also a talented team. So with that being said, I think Florida State will be too much along the lines of scrimmage again, but this time for 4 quarters. I think Jordan Travis is a better quarterback than Jaden Daniels. I think Florida State's offensive line is just better than LSU's. LSU's defensive line might be a little more athletic, a little bit more powerful because of the talent, but again, Florida State's D-line is no slouch. They're not much lesser than LSU's. I think secondary Florida State's better as far as how they play. As a team, I just think that Florida State is the better team. Talent-wise, they should be even. But again, Norvell's been around longer with his program. He knows where his program is. He knows where it's headed. Kelly is still, I guess, establishing that a little bit and building things the way he wants them. Because no coach really does everything they want or builds everything they want the way they want it after 1 year. So I have to go with Florida State by 10 points more. I think they pull away in this game. I think Florida State's D-line will be too much. I think Florida State's run defense will have improved. Pass defense will be tough to deal with. I think Florida State's offense will not turn the ball over. And I think that they'll make enough explosive plays to pull away. I got Florida State 31-14 over the LSU Tigers.